Welcome, everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I had a green beer, but Nancy said I couldn't bring it on stage. I'm convinced that the earthquake this morning was just a little shout out from LA to all you East Coast and Midwesterners that left that winter to come out here and you've been looking at the weather. And you're like, oh, I got to move here. Well, it's not all rosy. It's not what it seems. It's dangerous out here. We have a great lineup over the next 2.5 days. I'd like to say it's one of the best we've ever had, and we're going to get to that real quickly. I got a couple opening remarks, and then we'll get going. Normally sitting right here is Stuart Elliott, and a man that needs no introduction, but I think he needs a recognition because he did 21 of these in a row, and this would have been his 22nd, but he is homesick. We tried to Skype him in. He wouldn't do it. So, Stuart, we miss you. And he's seen a lot in the 21 years. This industry's changed dramatically. From the Greenbrier to where we are now, it's a changing industry, and the 4A's is changing also. But I also think that it's a time right now that is one of the most exciting times and a pivotal time for our industry. And I hope that the transformation that this was named after 5 years ago, which was the digital, technological part of our business coming in, the actual real transformation is the transformation to a growth industry. And that's what I hope we're here to talk about in this room for the next several days. We're going to see some old friends. We're going to network. We're going to have a few drinks on Nancy, free. We're going to have some great music tonight, courtesy of Clear Channel. But what we're really here as an industry is to talk about and envision what a future could look like. And we have the right people in the room. We have the right leaders. We have the most C-suite representation that we've ever had at one of these conferences. We have the leaders from all of the main agencies, and all of the media ecosystem is here. We're going to very close to sell out at 1,100 people. That is a great audience. And I'm excited to put this all together, to have a conversation about where we're going in the future. Not a single agency brand can set, no matter how strong it is, can set the future of our industry. That is the role of the 4A's and the industry associations. And last year, I outlined our broad agenda for this industry, and I want to just take 2 seconds to review it and then talk to you about the progress we're making against it. It's very simple. First and foremost, what we do works. What we do builds brands and drives demand for brands. When we drive demand for brands, we drive growth. When we drive growth, we drive sales, we drive jobs, we drive business forward. And that's the dialogue that this industry needs to have with our clients every single day. How do we help you drive growth? And with the tools we have available to us now, we can prove that growth. Secondly, how we do that is with human capital. We use algorithms, we use technology, just like we use media. But how we do our job is with human capital. And what we need to deliver for our clients in the future is different than what they've asked for in the past. And we need to bring new talent into this industry to be successful. And we're losing that talent to the tech sector. We're not sexy enough. We're not cool enough. The opportunity's not there. Lastly, we need to build brands that care. We need to lead the dialogue in the boardroom about how we build a sustainable future for our clients and their brands, because the consumer is demanding that. So if we're an industry that drives the global economy forward, and we do that in a sustainable way, we will attract the next generation of talent. That's what we're driving at as our broad agenda at the 4A's and as this industry. Some of the progress we've made in advertising and how it works. Last year, we did the most extensive consumer study in the Truth Study about advertising. We learned a lot about what the world thinks about us and what we think about ourselves. And that was a jumping off point for some of the great work that Leo Burnett did and some of the other initiatives. This year we are announcing the largest study, we commissioned the largest study, outside company, that's ever been done at the 4A's. And that will be Agency 2020. Be announced today, the results of this, and it is fascinating. We talked to CMOs, CEOs, we talked to agency heads, we talked to media, we talked to digital, qualitative and quantitative research that says, how do we prove that what we do works and drives the economy forward? Just tease out a couple stats. Mark, sorry, I know you'll have a lot on this later, but here's one that I just thought I'd share with you. 50%, over 50% of the agencies believe that we've transformed ourselves to deliver the value and the ROI on our ideas. Only 19% of our clients think that. The findings in this study will help drive the agenda for the future of the 4A's. And we'll be outlining that today. It's fascinating. It's great work. Talent wins. I don't mean, the best agency wins with the best talent. That's obvious. We all know that. What I mean is this industry doesn't win if we don't have the best talent, that if we don't have the most diverse talent. We need to embrace the next generation of strategists, technologists, data wonks, and creative thinkers, people that typically haven't been in this business. A couple things that we've done, the truth about advertising, Nancy showed you, the Leo Burnett, great work. And another initiative that we did is we looked around, our industry employs more millennials than most industries. So how do we harness those? And we kicked off a program called the Rising Stars, which is our next generation of talent and how they help us set the agenda to talk to the next generation, bring them in. They will be on stage with Bill Konigsberg later. It'll be very exciting, the work that they're doing. Lastly, brands care. In our survey, we found that 70% of people believe we're an industry that can change the world. So why don't we? We have that power. We need to lead in thought leadership with our clients. Somebody once said to me that in the future, the sustainability programs will be the same as digital. We used to have digital departments. Now it's in everything we do. The vision of the future is that the sustainability will be part of everything that we do because that's what today's consumer is demanding. I'm excited to announce that we've agreed with the ANA and Bob Leodis and his group to lead a partnership on how we define the role of marketing and advertising to build brands for a sustainable future. You'll be hearing more about that from the 4A's. And lastly, the Rising Stars are going to be talking about some work they're doing that can prove out what this industry does to give back in the world. So the 4A's, we're making progress. We still have a lot of work to do, and I want to thank Nancy and Laura and the whole team for all the work that they've done. And I also would like to welcome Allison Fahey as the new CMO, who's also going to add to the team and drive the agenda forward. We're examining and re-examining our value proposition, our structure, and we're evaluating how we evolve this to deliver more value to you, our members. We're transforming the 4A's to be bolder, faster, and stronger. I think the programming in this conference over the next 2.5 days is a great indication of where the 4A's is going. So they've done a lot of work. Let's give a quick round of applause to the 4A's, please. So in closing, I want to really impress that the transformation that has happened to this business is really just started. It's going to get a lot faster, and it's going to get a lot quicker, and it's going to change. But the good news is that if we embrace data and technology, I truly believe that we're looking at a new future for this business that is a growth future. You know the old adage, 50% of my advertising marketing budget doesn't work, I just don't know which 50%. That's no longer true. Data will allow us as an industry to not only garner insights better to drive the creative product, but Data will allow us to prove out what we all know who live in this business and make a career in this business. And that is that what we do works. And if we can prove that out, day in and day out, that our ideas are driving growth and driving business forward, it changes the economics of our business and it changes this business to a growth sector. Otherwise, it's a declining sector and it's a share game. I'm bullish about the future. And I think that this room here and this audience, we begin to have the conversation of how we move forward. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, Nancy and the 4A's, for the tremendous programming that you have for the 2.5 days. Thank you to the guest speakers in advance for bringing an outside perspective to the agency world. Thank you to the Rising Stars for committing your ideas, your time, and your passion about the future of this business, because you are the future of this business. Most importantly, I would like to thank Bill Konigsberg for stepping up and taking over the chairmanship from me in the next few weeks. Yeah, come on. Yeah, Bill. Bill is the first in the 97-year history of the 4A's to chair the 4A's and from the media side. Are we getting progressive or what? Bill's going to do a great job, and I'll be excited to hand the reins over to him. I'll be around as his outgoing chairman for a year. So with no further ado, I want to thank you all. It's been a great 2 years, and let's get on with the show.